Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last round that we have from our Modern 1K that we hosted back at the end of November of 2021. On the list, we have Chaz Eagle playing Yorion Blink, and on the right side, we have Lauren Scarpa playing Blue Red Affinity. Both of these players have been featured in other points in time from the 1K event. Chaz has his top 8 matchup on YouTube versus... I just did the voiceover for it. Oh my god. Living End. And then Lawrence played against John Shadow, which was pretty cool. Let's get into the nick and gritty of it. I have both of their deck lists right here. Both of them are playing pretty cool decks from what I consider. Lawrence is playing your pretty generic robot list nowadays. Nothing terribly interesting. I mean, there's Paradise Mantle, some Welding Jars. I mean, Welding Jars, pretty stock. There's a copy of Gingerbrute, which I'm about. Gingerbrute's a cool card. And then he's playing the Indestructible Lands from Modern Horizons 2, Treasure Vault from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. And that's about it for all the fancy new things. I mean, there's sagas and all that good stuff in there as well. Now, is he playing 4 Thoughtcast? Okay, so he's playing 4 Thought Monitor, 3 Thoughtcast, which is pretty solid. I wonder why he didn't decide to play the 4th copy of Thoughtcast. I know a lot of Affinity players tend to just run full sets of both. But, yeah, I'll have to ask about that next time I see him. His sideboard consists of 3 Metallic Rebuke, 3 Etch Champion, 2 Experimental Frenzy, 1 Tormod's Crypt, 1 Relic Regenetist, 2 Dispatch, 1 Aethersworn Canonist, and 3 copies of Magnetic Theft. So he's got some pretty sweet stuff in his sideboard, and I'm about it. Jazz looks like he's mulling down to 5. Alright, we got a Treasure Vault into a Memnite, and a pass. A very simple turn for Affinity. Affinity, the deck that can just vomit most of their hand onto the board in one turn. Alright, Stomping Ground, and then an Unholy Heat, so Chaz going down to 18. There's a Saga coming in. And if you watch the other match we did with Lawrence from this weekend, he got some value out of those Urza Sagas here. Alright, I'm going to draw. Now this was our top 4 matchup. Our other top 4 was Bring to Light Scapeshift versus Mono Red Obosh. It was a kind of a Obosh Prowess version, which was kind of cool. So I dig that a lot. Alright, Chaz is fetching here. I imagine he's going to get a Triome. Lawrence is able to make a Construct at the end of Chaz's turn. Yeah, Chaz's deck, also pretty interesting. It is a 80 card deck because it's Yorion, which means he's basically playing Commander. And he's got a bunch of like random cool things in there. There's Spreading Seas in the deck that I didn't know about. Unholy Heat, which we saw. Spell Quellers, Abundant Growth, Emrakul the Promised End, copy of Time Warp, some Restoration Angels, Kiki Jiki, a lot of really sweet things. Alright, so Spreading Seas actually coming down on the Ursa Saga, which Lawrence is going to make a construct in response to. So he has a 2-2 right now. Putting the Razortide Bridge into play. So he's got a 3-3, which casts a Frognark for 1, which means his next Frognark is free. Two, 3, 4, 5. I was going to say tap blue for Thoughtcast here. Draw 2. Yup. There's a free Memnite. And cracking in for 6 damage. Affinity is such a cool deck. Like, every time I watch the deck or play the deck, it's just That's so cool. Chaz using a prismatic ending to get rid of the threat, though. I was saying it in the last video, the Yorion Blink deck has a lot of really good survival tools. So it'll be interesting to see if Chaz can grind out from this position. Alright, he's going to shock at a Steam Vent and spreading seas a treasure vault. I think Lawrence is just making sure to see that if his land is still an artifact or not, which I believe it is. It's an artifact island now. I believe all it does is alter the basic land type. Alright, I'm going to show lethal and then have Galvanic Blast, which does 4 if you have Metalcraft on. And that's going to be game 1. I'm going to do some sideboarding. I'm going to look at their sideboard real quick, see if we can figure out what they're going to put in, and then we'll cut to game 2. So, starting with Chaz, he has a copy of Blossoming Calm, 3 Lightning Helix, 1 Fury, 2 Veil Summer, 3 Mystical Dispute, 2 Endurance, 2 Engineered Explosives. The Lightning Helixes and the Engineered Explosives feel like they're locks to go in. Helix is gaining you life back, and then EE being a board wipe, potentially, against Affinity is really strong. Then the other stuff, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with what Blossoming Calm does off the top of my head to know if it's worth putting in there. We can double check and see what it says, though. You gain Hexproof until your next turn. You gain 2 life. It has Rebound. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if it'd be worth bringing in here, but yeah. There are 95 cards in total in this man's deck. Yorion terrifies me. And then let's take a look for Lawrence. Lawrence has the 3 Rebuke, 3 Champion, stuff we talked about already. I don't know if he knows exactly what's going on with the Yorion deck yet. I mean, he could put the Dispatches in just to deal with problematic creatures. What does Magnetic Theft do? I'm assuming it's Metalcraft take something. 5th Dawn. Attach target equipment to target creature. Nope. Okay, that is for Hammer Time. Yeah, definitely for Hammer Time. I mean, I guess you could also just, like, put your own Shadow Spear on the board and then attach it to something at instant speed. Metallic Rebuke for counterspell shenanigans. I don't know what he sideboards here. I think he is also trying to figure out what he is sideboarding for this matchup. The graveyard hit's not bad. Chaz has a lot of interesting graveyard interactions with Eternal Witness and stuff. So, alright, let's move over to game 2 real quick, and then I'll see you in a second. Cool. So we're in game 2. We have Chaz on the play. Lawrence is resolving his mulligan, and Misty Pass. Very simple turn 1. And Lawrence with a also very simple turn 1. Interesting. It seems unusual whenever Affinity doesn't just vomit stuff on the board on the first turn. It's even wilder in Legacy. In Legacy, I've had people resolve 3 Thought Monitors on their first turn against me, and I'm like, okay, cool, can you stop? Can you stop drawing cards? And they're like, no. And it's like, okay, cool, thanks, I appreciate it. But you could definitely resolve a Thought Monitor, and maybe even a Thought Cast. Can you do both turn 1? I don't think you can do both. I think you can only do one or the other. Turn 2, I know you can do a lot of stuff. I think it just depends on how many Springleaf Drums you hit for turn 2, but not the point. We're going to see a red and 6 come out. Going to buy back a Windswept Teeth. Arguably the best Planeswalker that is legal in Modern right now. Probably up there for one of the best Planeswalkers ever. Like, it has to be top 3, or top 5, top 3. It's not better than Oko, but I can't think of many things that are better than Ren right now, outside of Oko. Not on the same power level, though. A new card, but a new Planeswalker that I do like a lot and want to play around with is Chandra Dressed to Kill. out of Crimson Vow. She seems like she has a lot of interesting potential. Alright. Ren's going to buy back a fetch. There's going to be a fetch put into play. Saga's going to do Saga things. Arts' hand doesn't look very threat heavy. Which is unfortunate. I mean, he has Saga, right? But cool. Jazz gonna fetch down to 17. Green-white Aldamri's Call. Let's get the Searcher's deck for a creature card and put it into his hand. Honestly, a pretty underrated, a currently underrated card. Being able to instant speed tutor for any creature doesn't feel bad. I know for a while I've tried, like, Heliod's company played it, or the green-white Heliod deck. There was a variant of Amulet Titan, which was Elvish Reclaimer base, but it was green-white, and I know it played Eldamri's Call as packed 5 and 6. Just because you got to do some really cute things with that deck. Kind of miss playing that version, but that's not the point. Now we're going to draw for turn. Lawrence is asking for Oracle Text of Restoration Angel, which I am pulling up on the laptop real quick to show him. So I believe Chaz is playing with Japanese versions of the card. Ren doing Ren things, just buying back fetch lands. There's a construct getting made. It's currently a 4/4. And will get bigger, but not the point. That Winsepti's put in work this game. Alright, here comes construct number 2. So it's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then will become a 6/6 after Lawrence searches for a artifact from his deck from the Urza Saga activation. Yeah, seriously guys, if you are looking for a new modern deck to play and you don't want to spend a terribly large amount of money, just go buy Affinity. I think like Saga's the most expensive card at $20 a piece. If you have those already, it's like $50 to $60, I think, to finish the deck. I mean, looking at this list, Shadow Spear might be the next most expensive card, and then I think it goes down to like, I don't even know. It's not a lot. The Thoughtcaster a couple bucks, Dot Monitor's a couple bucks, Plating's a couple bucks. Alright, is going to attach the cranial plating, or attempt to attach the cranial plating to the Ornithopter. Chaz looks like he's going to respond. He's got an Aldamri's Call. Probably going to tutor up a Solitude here. That's the other cool thing about this card, is that it can find Solitude at instant speed. Kind of like how in Amulet Titan, Summoner's Pact can grab Endurance at instant speed for those matchups that you need to win. Except for Diamory's Call, it doesn't say you lose the game. It also then pitches to those evoke creatures. Alright. Exiling Resto. Going to Solitude the Ornithopter, that way Lawrence doesn't gain any health. And then he's going to Ephemerate. Okay, cool. Ephemerate it and then hit the one that can attack. And then just doing a simple check of how big and how much life they're gaining, or Lawrence is gaining from these creatures. Ephemerate, retrace, or rebound, not retrace. Hit the other Saga construct. Right, Eternal Witness is going to buy back the Ephemerate. And the cool thing is that Chaz gets to start looping cards out of his graveyard now with Ephemerate on Eternal Witness. Right, I'm going to make a construct. Sack it here. Ephemerate Solitude in response to the third chapter ability of Urza Saga. Lawrence has 36 health. Grabbing a Springleaf Drum. Grabbing some colored mana, which is nice. Well, potentially colored mana as long as Lawrence has a creature. As a Sojourner's Companion coming down for 1. As I say, is he going to tap it to play the Thoughtcast in his hand? No, okay, just passing the turn. Interesting. Cool. Makes sense. Galvanic Blasting the Eternal Witness that way. Chaz doesn't get to just keep buying stuff back. Here comes an Expressive Iteration. Top 3 cards of the deck. Sees Omnath. Prismatic Ending? No, I think that's the other white spell. The Blossoming Calm. Cool. Plays the Eternal Witness, buy back the Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Solitude. Solitude gets rid of the Sojourner's Companion. Lawrence is up to 40 health now. Alright, free casted Frognark. Thoughtcast, draw 2. There's a Darksteel Citadel, a Sojourner's Companion, and a Frog. Alright. retraces the Eternal Witness, buys back the other Eternal Witness. Cool. Taps 4 for Omnath Locus Creation. White, green, red, blue. Draw. Hits it on Holy Heat, which is nice. Plays fetch return. He's going to go to 17 health because of the Omnath effect. Fetch go down to 16. And then he's going to trigger the second part of Omnath's ability here with this landfall. Which allows him to create a red, white, blue, and green mana. Just for putting a land into play. Omnath is a wild card. There's a prismatic ending on the Pithing Needle, which will allow red and 6 to be able to do stuff again. Red's going to go to 7, buy back of the Windswept Teeth. Alright, E-Wit, buy back Ephemerate. And Holy Heat's one of the frogs. Here comes another frog. Attacks in. It's a 2-2 and a 4-4, I think. Or a 3-3. So I don't think Companion's a 4-4. That'd be a little too good. Sojourner's Companion. That is a 4-4. It is a free 4-4. Use a treasure rod ability to sack it, make a mana, or make a treasure. Craft the treasure for a black. Try to equip it instant speed, but Solitude deals with that. So many things have been hit by Solitude this game. Hell, this match. Alright, attacks in with Omnath and Solitude. Chad's going to gain 3 life. Damage will finally be dealt to Lar. Still go to 35. Alright, it's going to buy Yorion. We're going to flicker a bunch of things, including an Omnath and Eternal Witness. And Lawrence is going to scoop it up. Alright, Chaz is going to take game 2. And, well, let's move on to game 3, see how this wraps up. Alright, and we're back for our third and final game here. We have Lawrence on the play, leaving with a Razortide Bridge and playing a Mem Knight. Again, not the most explosive turn 1 from Affinity, but it's a decent setup. Chaz going to lead on a Windswept Teeth. Going to fetch during his turn, which is interesting. Does he have a prismatic ending he wants to play? A forest. Okay. Abundant Growth, maybe? Yep, Abundant Growth, draw a card. Darksteel Citadel, Cranial Plating, and a Frognark. Attack for 1. Frogmite. It's a frog. It's Affinity. It's a 4-drop. Alright. See the Wren in his hand. Fury, pitch Wandering Mind, Ephemerate the Fury. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Saga coming out for 1. Thug draw 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Not drawing any creatures. Jesus. That's unfortunate. I feel like the odds of drawing double land there is so low. 3, 7, 10, 13, 17, 18. Yeah, 18 lands. And a draw 2 while already having that many in hand. That is probably a very low percentage chance of happening. That sucks. Choosing not to cast the Ephemerate makes sense when I have the 3/3 double striker on the board. Now, do you Wren here or do you Aggressive Iteration? Ooh, Spreading Seas to Urza Sagas. Also just a very viable option. Kraken for 6 here. Yep. Let's go to 14. Land for turn pass. Lawrence is a mana off or an artifact off from casting a Thought Monitor, which is mighty unfortunate. Alright, I'm attacking for 6 more. Lawrence should be at 8, yep. Here comes the Wren. Buy back the fetch, play the fetch. God, Wren in 6 is so good. Draws a Sojourner's Companion, which doesn't really help him here. This is the same predicament as Thought Monitor, I think. Oh, he has a land for turn. So you can play either or if you really wanted to. Alright, land for turn. Play Thought Monitor. Draw Shadow Spear Midnight. Is that what I just saw? Oh, the Ephemerate on this Fury is gonna hurt like a bitch. The Sojourner's Companion. Yep, kills the Mem Knight and the Thought Monitor. He has a Lightning Helix in hand. I did set in the Lightning Helix. It's nice. Alright, gonna equip the companion with the cranial plating. So it's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Yeah. Once again, choosing to not cast the Ephemerate. Gonna ping that for 1. Attack in. Lawrence takes the hit, goes to 2, and then Chaz says, I have the Lightning Heals for game. Alright, folks, that's it. Chaz Hinkle wins 2-1 against Lawrence Scarpa, Yorion Blink going over Blue Red Affinity. Chaz made it to the finals of the 1K and then split in the finals with Mono Red Obosh. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun jazz. Other than that, yeah, have a great one. Goodbye.